Hello everybody, welcome to another Nephilim build. Today we're going to lead the kingdom as Artoria Pendragon from Fate. As always, keep in mind that these videos are about capturing the spirit of the character rather than capturing their abilities perfectly. With that said, let's start with ability scores. Using the standard pointer arrow with the 15 to strength, Artoria can keep up with Heracles if she pushes it. Next we'll put the 14 to charisma. Artoria ruled so well no one cared she was a woman. And at that we'll put the 13 to constitution. Artoria takes a lot of punishment. Up next the 12 to dexterity. We're not an archer right now, but we still want some dex saves. Lastly we'll put the 10 to intelligence and dump wisdom. It's not really fair to blame the fall of Camelot entirely on Mordred. Sure, he apparently misunderstood why Artoria rejected him and overreacted, but she really could have tried to explain herself better. Also, apparently we don't know the real reason either. That or it's deeper than the first page of Google searches. So by now you're probably wondering why I keep emphasizing Artoria. It's because I absolutely, solemnly refuse to call her Altria. I'm sorry, I know I go on rant sometimes, and this one really has nothing to do with anything, but I need to get it out. Skip to the time on screen if you don't want to hear it. So I freaking hate that Grand Order calls her Altria, both because it's wrong and because I know how this abomination happened. So if you don't know Japanese or don't watch a shit ton of anime, Japanese doesn't have the l sound. Closest thing they have is the slight l sound you get at the end of an r sound. That's why whenever you hear a Japanese person speaking English, they'll sometimes use an R sound instead of an L. It's because they're not used to it. Also, most, maybe all of their syllables end in a vowel sound. I don't speak Japanese myself, I just watch a lot of anime, so don't quote me there. But that's also why they'll often add vowel sounds when speaking English where there normally aren't any, especially at the end of words. So what does this have to do with Artoria becoming Altria? Basically, anytime someone's translating something from Japanese to English and they say a word that clearly isn't Japanese, the translator has to figure out what R's are supposed to be L's and what vowels are supposed to be there or not, and they don't always get it right. So basically, someone heard the name Artoria in a heavy Japanese accent and thought, "Oh, I know how this works. That R is supposed to be an L and that O doesn't actually exist." And so R becomes All and Toria becomes Tria. But of course no one on the damn team wants to admit they got the name wrong, even though the name Artoria is used in literally every piece of Fate media that isn't Grand Order related. And that's not even mentioning that Artoria is a clear feminization of Artorius, the name that Arthur is originally derived from. Also, in case you're wondering, that is why Beerus was translated to Bills in that one Battle of Gods fan sub. It's also why Haru got translated to Hal in that one episode of Beastars, though they somehow missed Rui on the missing person poster. And it is, in fact, why we call Nunchaku nunchucks. Add your favorite example of this down in the comments to prove you listened to the whole rant. For species, we're going to go with Reborn, like father, like son. Or is it the other way around? Oh, and Artoria is Mordred's father, even though she's actually cis. Don't ask how, if you know, you know. Also, yes, I know she's not actually dead yet, she's still sleeping in Avalon. I don't care, she's still being summoned as a spirit. Fate doesn't care about its own damn rules half the time, you think I'm gonna? We'll get Deathless Nature and Knowledge from Past Life and take Athletics and Intimidation. We'll make a custom background putting our increases into Strength, Charisma, and Constitution. We'll also take History and Insight, the Tough Feat, and Painter Supplies. You know, for giggles. Moving on to class, we're going to go with Paladin. We'll get Wisdom and Charisma saving throws, pick Persuasion and Religion, and be proficient with all weapons, armor, and shields. At level 1, we'll get Lay on Hands and Weapon Mastery, taking the Longsword. I'll also prepare 2 spells taking Command because King and Divine Favor to put some X in our caliber. At level 2 we'll get Paladin Smite and our fighting style taking Great Weapon Fighting. I'll also take Compelled Duel to 1v1 a bitch. At level 3 we'll get Channel Divinity and our Sacred Oath taking the Oath of Glory. I've been using this one a lot lately. And no, she wouldn't take the Oath of the Crown. You can't swear loyalty to the Crown if you are the Crown. Besides, the Tenets of Glory are a perfect fit for a chivalrous knight. We'll get Inspiring Smite and Peerless Athlete as well as Heroism and Guiding Bolt. At early levels, this is a simple mana burst, but at higher levels, it's gonna be our Noble Phantasm. And no, I'm not using Sunbeam. 11 levels of anything that can learn it is just too many spells to deal with. We'll also take Shield of Faith for AC. At level 4, we'll take the Shadow Touch feat, rounding Charisma. We'll take Bane to fill the slot and get Invisibility. Now this technically can only be used on a creature, but I think most DMs will let you use it on your sword for fun. And if not, servants can turn invisible. I think it's been a while. Look, if she can turn her sword invisible with wind, she can turn herself invisible. We'll also take protection from evil and good. At level 5, we'll get extra attack and Faithful Steed. Lancer Artoria might be the one with the horse, but Saber Artoria has a motorcycle, and that's objectively cooler. We'll also get Enhance Ability and Magic Weapon from our Oath, taking Shining Smite for more utilitarian X in our caliber. At level 6, we'll get Aura Protection, and at level 7, we'll get Aura of Alacrity and Aid for more HP. At level 8, we'll get the Slasher feat, bumping Strength. At level 9, we'll get Abjure Foes as well as Haste and Protection from Energy from our Oath. We'll also take Blinding Smite and Crusader's Mantle for more X in our caliber. At level 10, we'll get Aura of Courage, and at level 11, we'll get Radiant Strikes. We'll also take Spirit Shroud from Tasha's for just a smidge more X in our caliber. At level 12, we'll raise our strength, and level 13, we'll get Compulsion and Freedom of Movement. The first one because King, and the second to Mana Burst out of Restraints. We'll also take Death Ward because it's good. At level 14, we'll get Restoring Touch, and level 15, we'll get Glorious Defense. That counter move she tried to do against Diermuid would have been glorious if it weren't for that pesky magic spear. I mean, seriously, how often do you see any media treat armor like it's something that's supposed to take a hit? We'll also take Detect Evil and Good. At level 16, we'll raise our Charisma. At level 17, we'll get Legend Lore and Yolan's Real Presence from our Oath. We'll use Legend Lore to get info from Roman. Also, I never finished the main story for Grand Order. Did Roman end up being a bad guy? He was giving me vibes around Camelot or Babylonia, and I couldn't help but notice his hair was similar to Solomon's. We'll also take Destructive Wave for an AoE Mana Burst and Circle of Power. I don't think I ever saw Avalon's Bounded Field ability, but this is as close as we'll get. At level 18, we'll get Aura Expansion, and level 19, we'll get the Boon of Spell Recall, capping Strength. We'll also take Detect Magic. Lastly, at level 20, we'll get Living Legend for some kingly charisma. Now that we're level 20, we finally have our modifiers. We'll take a set of half plate for armor, giving us an AC of 16. Our movement speed is 40, and our average HP is 204 with 20 D10 hit dice. And with that, we are done. Now what can this build do? To start, we have an absurd amount of X in our caliber with Divine Favor, Spirit Shroud, Radiant Strikes, and Divine Smite. We're also inflicting disadvantage on our enemies with each hit thanks to Sap, and we have a pretty reliable range attack. Our charisma is also high enough to offset any low saving throws. For weaknesses, Spell Recall doesn't restore 5th level slots, which are what we need for our Noble Phantasm. Also, for roleplay purposes, we're not allowed to upcast Fine Steed, not unless she rides a Pegasus at some point in the canon and no one put it in the wiki. Weaknesses aside, you don't mess with the King of Knights. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you'd like to support this channel, there's a link to my Patreon down in the description. $1 a month gets you 2-day early access to my videos and access to all of my homebrew content. Let me know what you thought of this video down in the description, and I'll see you all next time when I make Foxy from Five Nights at Freddy's.